Trane unit. Go figure. I work on a lot of those. Popular system around here, and we install a lot of them, so it is what it is. So if you want to learn anything about Tranes, I guess my videos are good ones to watch. I'm not perfect. I don't know it all. I'm not the expert on them. Do not claim to be, but the experience does matter. And you spend 12 years in a row working on these things, especially like Ted, however long he's been selling them and installing them and working on them. You know, you see a lot of them and you learn a lot about them. So anyway, we had a guy that was here this morning, showed up to do the maintenance, and this particular unit was running a 75 over a 220, and he was trying to find the leak, could not, I guess, locate it. Was having some issues finding it, so we just had him charge the unit up, go ahead and get it cooling, and then I would swing by later this afternoon, which is now, and see if I could find a leak in it. So we are working on a Trane heat pump, and it's a 2-year-old 16, no, this is a 15, 2-ton 15 SEER Trane heat pump. So right now the refrigerant charge on it from being added this morning and balanced out is running fine. We are running a 17 superheat and a 9.5 subcool out of 10, 132 over 305. So anyway, let's see if we can find this leak. You know where I'm going to start at with Trane, unfortunately. I'm heading to the air handler, and that's probably where we're going to find it at. So I'm going to go grab my leak detector and we'll get under there. I believe this has got a GAM air handler, not a TAM air handler, so you might see something a little bit different. But let me grab my leak detector and we'll head under the house. Alrighty, we are under the house, and crawl space, one you can actually stand up in and walk into, so not all that bad. But we have a GAM 5. So we've already been through the TAM 7, 8, 9. Now we're on the TAM 10, TAM X, whatever you want to call it. And GAM 5, still GAM 5. No GAM 6, no GAM 7, 8, 9. Whatever how they do that. But anyway, let's get this door off and see what we can come up with on this thing. See if we have a leak or not. Put my light up here. Let's get the leak detector out. Let it warm up while I'm getting the door off. Good old Phillips head screws. I've had the unit off for a few minutes, letting this blower run, try to maybe dry some of this water down. She wasn't running it as hard as she typically does because she knew we were coming back, and we did add refrigerant this morning to get the charge balanced. We can find. Hold on just a minute. Let me answer this phone. Alright, that was the boss man. So let me start looking around. I'm kind of looking for the obvious, the oil, anything like these deflectors on here. Are they showing any oil? Looking for the obvious around a lot of these aluminum braze joints that usually they'll look kind of darker if there's oil on them, kind of like putting Armor All on the tire. And there's a couple of them. Sometimes you can just see it if it's in that U-bend fitting bubbling if it's a bad leak. I mean, it was 70 over like 220 when he got here, and we've got this thing charged up, so I'm not quite sure when it started leaking or how long it's been leaking, but I'm not seeing any oil around any of the braze joints. This unit's been in for about 2 years, so I mean, to already have a leak in it this quick, I mean, it just says more, I guess, about the product than it says about anything else. If it's not in a braze joint, then everything else in here came from the factory. We didn't engineer it, we didn't design it, we didn't manufacture it at all. So let's see what we can find. Get my light back out. Sure enough, there you go. So, show you where we're looking. Right down there in that corner. And I can see some water beaded against that coil end plate panel back down there. And about 2 of those U-bends dark in color. So as soon as I get right back there in that corner, right back there, I mean, and that's from the factory, my friends. I mean, that's part of the manufacturing on this thing. And like I told you on another video, I don't know if you remember, if you look at this coil in here. Now these are the coated coils. They're not all aluminum. That's that for the dirty sock, the Tector coated coating that comes on there. If you look, maybe it's easier to see right there. If you look right here, there's about 1.5 inches or so section in there. Well, where you can see it, that's not coated, right on that outside edge. Then it turns black, and then it's coated the other way. So what we were told is the coils were getting coated all the way to the end. The brazing process on the aluminum was causing some kind of reaction to that, and they had to turn the heat back. They found that to be the problem, so then the newer ones started getting made where you didn't have that coating coming all the way to the edge of the coil right here. They went 1.5 inches back so they could turn the heat back up on these U-bends, and said that was supposed to have fixed the problem. But yet we're still finding these coils leaking in these U-bends right here around these fittings. So I don't know what they've got to do. And this one's 2 years old. We had a spell in there 2017, 18, 19, 20 where the TAM coils and were just going berserk with leaks. And they got that, it seemed like they got it resolved, but I mean, we're still, this one's a 2021, and the leaks are always in these U-bends. Every time I'm finding one, it's in. So they've got there's something going on with their brazing process in here. I mean, if I can fix that with MAP gas, and I think you guys saw that video, and that was a Goodman aluminum coil, but the same problem, it was leaking where these U-bends are brazed in. So I mean, if I can fix that with MAP gas, to be sure, a multi-hundreds, probably $1 billion corporation can figure a way to get it done right at the factory. Because this is just getting ridiculous, having these conversations with homeowners about why their 2-year-old system's already leaking refrigerant when their old unit lasted 20 years until it leaked, and then they got it replaced. And that's a hard conversation to have for something that's not your fault. So, I mean, it is what it is. But we've got a leaking coil right here, guys, in a 2-year-old unit. Hearing it scream. So, anyway, guys, there's another leak in a Trane air handler coil. GAM or TAM, the same process at the factory. So they're going to have to work on that and get that fixed. I hope they do, because I'm tired of having these conversations with these homeowners. So anyway, guys, like, subscribe. Appreciate you watching, and appreciate all the subscribers. We'll see you on the next one.